Live from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria. This is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. And now to our main conversation for today. 5 soldiers of the Nigerian army were killed and 11 others injured in an attack by terrorists on a military camp in Faskari local government area of Katsina state. The terrorists, numbered no fewer than 200, were led by a notorious gang leader, Ado Aleru, in the said attack, which took place in broad daylight. One member of the vigilance group, a 30-year-old Aliyu Tukar, was also killed in the attack. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred at about 2 p.m. when more than 200 terrorists armed with sophisticated weapons attacked the military camp in Lled village. A gun battle lasted 2 hours and had the intervention of air components, but even that couldn't prevent the death of the soldiers and 11 others who were wounded. So the attack has led to the withdrawal of all remaining military personnel from the village to a nearby camp located 25 kilometers away at Ali Keri village due to casualty load. And still with us in the studios is Emeka Amadu Nago. And joining us also is Dr. Olainka Oyegule. He is an educator and also a public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, sirs.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
All right, so there we have it yet again in the home state of our former president, Buhari. There we have it. 5 soldiers killed, 11 wounded. But my question is exactly why do you think there's this namby-pamby approach by the president in dealing with this issue? Some couple of months back, it happened in Okwama. And there was a direct order from the presidency directing the soldiers to do whatever they needed to do to ensure that those who did that could be brought to book. And right now we have another one happening in Katsina state, but nothing is being done about that. What do you think is the reason? Let me start with you, Doctor.
Well, I think the problem is that I don't want us to see it as not so much as not dealing with all these issues in equal measures. But the issue is that this thing is getting too much. And every day we come and discuss, we talk about it, it is still the same thing that is happening. So to me, it looks like Sisyphus in the Greek mythology. When he rolls the boulder up to the hill, it comes down again, it begins all over again. And that is exactly what seems to be happening. Why is it that the military has not been able to rein in these terrorists? The issue in Okwama and the one now, they are slightly not the same.
But soldiers were killed.
Soldiers were killed. Those who killed the soldiers in Okwama was not designated as terrorists or bandits or whatever.
Which makes it lighter.
No, it doesn't make it lighter.
Okay.
In fact, the one that happened now should have a more decisive force. Exactly. Because it is getting too much.
True.
But what I'm trying to say in essence is that it seems as if we are still not getting our acts correctly. The question I keep asking myself, during the era of President Buhari, before the US, in fact, under the presidency of Buhari, the Obama presidency was badmouthed as not helping us and all that they did. They were not selling weapons to Nigeria and all that and so on and so forth. So when Trump came, the Mekano or Tucano, the Tucano jets were sold to Nigeria. But the question I keep asking is, what have we done with those Tucano jets? As far as I'm concerned, maybe we shouldn't even have invested so much on those Tucano jets. Maybe what we needed was weapons for the military itself. Hardware weapon, not necessarily the aircraft. Because up till today now, I don't know where any of those aircraft have been deployed. So when terrorists kill your soldiers, and we have been saying this for long, they are getting away with it because decisive action had never been taken against them. Even the Okwama one, the terrorists, I mean the people who attacked them are not the people that were eventually displaced from the villages, because those who attacked them would have left the village. So now the people get away with such things because you are not aligned, you are not doing what you are supposed to do. We all read crime novels when we were growing up, and we knew that in crime novels, the bad guy always won his lieutenant that never you kill a military man. Anybody in uniform. Because if you kill anyone in uniform, whether it's a policeman or a soldier or whatever, they will get you. You can get away with your crime if you don't kill a uniform person. But here in Nigeria, we've taken them as pests. Any trouble like this, they must kill a uniform person because they get away with it. So the government must make up its mind that, look, the uniform men or uniform persons are the symbol of authority of the country. So the moment you continue to kill them, you give people the chance to say that, okay, when we kill them, nothing will happen. So in Katsina now, in broad daylight, and what is happening is also our military have been overstretched. Things that are supposed to be handled by the police or even local militias are being handled by the military. A man is fighting with his wife, you go and bring a soldier to come and more man is sleeping with another man's wife, the man go and bring the soldier to come and deal with him. I mean, those are not military issues at all. So we must be able to define what is the military supposed to do. Don't overset them. They have been overset. And that is why today you find out that people who want to join the military only want to join the military because they know that when they wear that uniform, they can use it to oppress anybody. You are driving on the road, the soldier man is oppressing you because he's in uniform and all that. So we are taking them away from their constitutional responsibilities. And that is why they are being overstretched and being killed anyhow.
Very true. Emeka, let's take a look at this. Nigeria is not at war. But according to records and research, the number of soldiers killed from 1999 up until today is close to the number of soldiers killed during the Nigerian Biafran Civil War. And the question still remains, why do we still keep having this sort of issue? Can we say fairly that this is a failure of democracy in the hands of politicians?
No, it's not a failure of democracy. The thing is that the security challenges have widened. They've taken on broader forms. Time was when in this country, the problem you had was just, excuse me, people stealing pots of soup or beans, from detached kitchens and all of that. But after the war, you saw armed robbery was added to the lexicon. Although you had armed robbery those days, but it was just
minor
here and there. But it now became a big problem. In time, drug trafficking became a big problem. Now, terrorism. Since after September 11, the September 11 terror attacks in the United States, terrorism has taken on a life of its own. Added to it, different forms of crime like illegal mining, illegal logging, trade in illicit arms, all of these things, and then corruption, money laundering, all of these things work hand in hand. So that's the reason why the attacks on the military have increased, because every target now is a fair target. They don't mind. They've killed children, so they've killed women, even pregnant women. There have been cases where pregnant women were thrown into wells or, their pregnancies were removed. So it is a dimension of criminality that has assumed dangerous levels.
Now, when you talk about dimensions of criminality that has assumed, various levels,
Dangerous levels,
yeah.
yes.
There's one key element you are avoiding here. I do not know why, but I think this issue of political enabling, because we've seen situations where politicians consciously enable some of these things because they want to get at their opponents. So don't you think that that is the crux of the matter here?
But the soldiers are not their opponents. So why are they killing soldiers?
I'm talking about enabling the terrorists, the bandits.
No. It's not just that. It's part of the problem. Yes, it's part of the problem. It's on the same level as parents who see their children indulging in drug abuse and they look away. It's the same thing. So what I would like to say is that transnational crime has become a big problem globally. So when September 11 happened, it spread across the rest of the world. Today, the Taliban, who are regarded as, I think, the world's most dangerous terrorists, are in charge of a country, Afghanistan, a whole country. So you can see how far, that is not just about politicians. It's about the fact that terrorism has taken on a life of its own and has become a big threat to the world in every way. But you see, governments keep, taking steps to cut terrorism financing, to deal with illicit arms. Like you see, the Senate now has passed a law that drug trafficking should attract the death penalty. Just like I think Iran and a number of countries too. So soldiers, of course, are security agents. They are agents of the state. And what is their duty? To put criminals, terrorists, bandits, whatever, insurgents, out of business. And of course, these people don't want to go out of business. These people are enabled by certain other fringe players, like people who engage in illegal logging, illegal mining. So when you see some of these killings, look at Katsina. Katsina is on the border between Nigeria and Niger. Then Katsina is close to Kaduna. Katsina, but at some other states. So Zamfara, yes. So Katsina is a major state, it's a key state in the north, and in between, and also in that region, that Sahel region. And you find out that there's a lot of criminal activity along that Sahel corridor. There's a lot of criminal activity. You have Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb operating. You have ISIS. You have ISWAP. You have different other groups operating. So what they do is that they are mobile. There is a lot of motorcycles. So they are mobile. Now, those who attacked this military column by now may be in Niger Republic or even in Libya or in Mali. So they move a lot. They move around a lot. Armed forces cannot chase criminals into Niger Republic because that would be a violation of their sovereignty. That is one. Then, of course, of the tense relations between Nigeria and Niger Republic as a result of, the coup in Niger last year. So the cooperation has not been that very close. But I must commend Niger Republic. Sometime last week, they arrested one of the deadliest bandits in Nigeria. They arrested him. He crossed the border to go and rustle cattle, and he was apprehended. I don't know what has happened to him. So I think to deal with these things, the multinational joint task force, MNJTF, involving Nigeria, I think Benin Republic, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, must be strengthened. The member nations of this small force must, provide more funding and more logistics to the MNJTF, because they cannot just keep operating in isolation. Now you see Niger has sent the US packet. So the US drone base in Niamey doesn't operate anymore. So the US cannot help with drone surveillance. Then you find out that Russia is coming into the play. Russia has already sent troops to help to fortify the military junta in Niger, which is a problem of its own. Then you have those illegal miners. Part of this problem in the north is tied, a major part of it is tied to illegal mining. But people just skirt around it. Like there's the idea, there's the impression that some of these bandits provide cover for illegal miners. So at times when you see this confrontation, is maybe the military fending off one group and another group tries to take advantage to take over those mines.
Now, in all of this, you think the president is oblivious of that?
You see, the president is the commander-in-chief.
Who should get information?
Yes, the president is, let me tell you, the military is doing so much. The military is going on, they keep carrying out sorties. But like I told you one thing, the bandits are more mobile than the military.
That is it.
Let an aircraft, okay, Tucano aircraft, take off from maybe Kainji, take off from Kainji, and it's going to carry out a sortie somewhere in Katsina. You think those guys will sit down and wait to come and bomb us? No.
Before they get there, they move.
Before they get there, they would have moved. Move this way or move this way. Move through the forest. They can dodge into those forests, or they can cross the border. So what I'm saying is this. It's not just about the Nigerian president. I think it's time for the Nigerian president to hold a summit, call the other presidents, and then their multilateral partners
to follow up that.
Yeah, to follow up their multilateral partners. And then ECOWAS should have a standby, should strengthen a standby force. It's unfortunate that the only time we heard of the standby force coming in since after after the ECOMOG adventure in Liberia and Sierra Leone was just because they wanted to go and attack Niger at the instigation of the United States and France. That's shameful. We ought to have activated this ECOWAS standby force to assist in dealing with terrorism across West Africa.
Now, Doctor, when we talk about assisting in dealing with terrorism across Africa, I'd love us to go
across West Africa.
West Africa. Now, let's go to the sub-region, sub-Saharan Africa, and particularly Burkina Faso. The civilian leader was ousted because of 10% of what we are facing today in Nigeria, terrorism. The president then, Paul Namibia, took over power from him. The same issue again, his inability of arresting insecurity and terrorism in Burkina Faso led to Ibrahim Traoré taking over position of authority today. And right now, as I speak to you, everything that has to do with terrorism in Burkina Faso is sliding down the slippery slope. Now, what do you think these people have done right that we are still not getting right in Nigeria?
Well, the issue is we can't compare the two. One, they are different personalities, and understanding of issues are different. Back at home, the president doesn't seem, I may be wrong, the president doesn't seem to understand or appreciate the level of all these problems. You see, when you are outside the corridors of power, you always have your own ideas, or this is the way things should go. But when you are confronted with the stark realities, you begin to see that, oh, okay, it was not the way I thought it is. But even at that, I think the president, with all the military chiefs, because when Buhari was there, the issue was the service chiefs have spent too long, change them, do this, do that. He didn't change them. Now we have new service chiefs who are just under 1 year too. What has changed? What is it that they need that the president has not provided? Or what order has the president not given?
Political will.
In all honesty, most times I always feel as if we think the president should know everything. Look, I've operated in the newsroom circle for years. What happened there is every reporter has his or her beat. You don't need the editor to tell you that something is happening here, go and cover it. It is your duty to cover it. So must the chief of army staff or the chief of defense staff or the GOCs, must they wait for the president to say, go and tackle the problem in Katsina or not? No, they don't have to wait for him.
That's why I talked about political will.
No, you see, when you talk of political will, it means that the president doesn't have that political will to tell them to go and do it. No, he doesn't have to tell them.
So he has the gusto to do that all the time.
He doesn't have to tell them. They should know themselves. But maybe where the issue of political will comes in is if they don't do it, the president should sanction them.
Okay.
If that is what you mean by political will, yes. But in the issue of president must tell them they kill somebody in Katsina now. President will now say, I've directed the chief of army staff to go and they've done this. Why are they there in the first place? You put them there because they are supposed to be your eye. It's just like reporters are the editor's eye on their beats. So it shouldn't be rocket science, as they say, for them to do what they are supposed to do. It is only one that will involve perhaps huge loss of life that they need to get the chief, commander-in-chief's go ahead. If not, does the DPO need the police commissioner to quell crime in his zone? No.
Very true. Well, the truth still remains that at a time when the Nigerian economy is trudging, down the rabbit hole, and what we need most in our country right now is sustainable investment. But the fact is, we cannot, I say it again, we cannot have sustainable investment in a country where there's no peace. And what we need in Nigeria is a peace in its entirety. Thank you very much, Emeka.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
and Doctor, thank you so very much
for
being part of our show. Also want to thank you for being part of our program today, taking our time every day to tune in and watch our programs. We love to say thank you so very much. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another interesting time. Bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.